Hi, my name is William Schweizer, and I'm a member of the class of 1983. I graduated Stony Brook and then pursued a residency in obstetrics and gynecology at NYU School of Medicine. I stayed on at NYU for 34 years as a faculty member and recently left in December of 2021 as a faculty member, a professor in the department, and have decided to pursue rural medicine. I'm currently working in Sharon, Connecticut at a small rural hospital and also at Planned Parenthood in Newburgh, New York. So what attracted me to Stony Brook was their emphasis on community medicine. And I had been spending time with the National Multiple Sclerosis Society before deciding to go to medical school. And when I began, I initially thought I would pursue a career in neurology and the neurosciences, but very quickly realized that the emphasis that the school was given on primary care strengthened my interest in really healthcare delivery. I very clearly remember our first day. We were asked to meet together in one of the classrooms with the long tables and the rotating chairs, and I met 48 classmates. We were the last class actually that had 48 students. And each one of us took turn explaining where we were from, why we wanted to go to medicine. And I was just so impressed with the breadth of individuals that I was faced with. We were a class that there were 65% women, which was new at the time. Our class, 50% of our classmates had done something else after university and after college. And everyone just seemed very interested in getting to know each other and to be a cohesive unit. I have such great memories of how we used to learn. Now, as I mentioned, there were 48 of us. And in this third year, we were joined by, I believe it was 16 or 18 students from the Sophie Davis class. And because we were such a cohesive group, we very much embraced them. I remember inviting them all together so we could, get to know them better. So our class also, we socialized. Initially, I think we thought we had more free time than we actually did. So every Friday evening or afternoon, we would have a couple beers together as class. But I think in the middle of the first year, we realized that we just didn't have that free time. But still, at the end of every clerkship and at the end of our big sessions, we would usually have a class party where one of the members would invite everyone else to their apartment. We'd all crowd in to tiny little places that we lived in and have a celebration. I think also that all of us were very sensitive to each other's particular needs. And I think that really came out very clearly when it came to our clerkship choices. That each of us knew each other so well and knew what interests that we had, that we all were concerned on that each of us would succeed in the best way that they could. When we made choices as to what, where we wanted to do, what hospital we wanted to choose for our clerkships, we often would acquiesce to somebody else that might have preferred to be at a certain place. Or if there were several of our classmates that were raising families already at that time, and the idea of being home with their family and having an easier commute was important. Many of the faculty had really unique ways of being mentors and leaders for us. And I'm sure that many of my classmates will speak of the excellent education we had from anatomy and we had in histology and pathology and medicine. But all of the faculty members were very interested in teaching us. I still remember there was one professor in public health that had a symposium in his house every several weeks during his lecture series. He invited students to his home where we would have a conversation about the direction that healthcare was going. And it was I think it was just a much more intimate experience that we had that medical students today are getting. I'm fortunate at this juncture in time to be the president of the Renaissance School of Medicine Alumni Board. And what the board really seeks to do is to facilitate the medical students' transition into the school. So we hand out stethoscopes at the white coat ceremony, but I think more importantly, we do try to act as mentors. We make ourselves available for nights where we talk to students about our careers in medicine, which does meet twice a year. We also have been involved in handing out awards for foreign travel. I know that the board has paid for numerous scholarships for students to travel abroad and to practice medicine abroad. And we've also created a host program. The host program has been really helpful in allowing students to find places to stay when they go long distances for residency applications, and perhaps also find kind friends who will help them find out information about the institution they might be interested in. I think the school has always been a leader in medical education. The systems approach to medicine was novel when I began medical school. I loved it. It taught me so much. I still today reflect on how well I was taught. When I started my residency at NYU, they were not yet using the systems approach, and they actually switched while I was a resident to doing a systems approach to medicine, and I saw a huge change in the way the students started learning and remembering information. I think the school has taught me to be resilient. The process that we had in different clinical sites was an amazing way to learn. It made me learn to be comfortable quickly in a new institution, in a new environment, and I can very easily adapt myself to deliver health care in a different place. Every morning I get up and I'm thrilled to be coming to work, and I'm doing it a little differently than I did a year ago, but I feel very closely involved with my patients. I'm enjoying the smaller practice that I'm working with. I'm enjoying the real intimacy of the hospital that I'm working with. You know, in reflecting as to what was my favorite memory, I don't think really I can speak of any moment in time, but the people I met, still to this day, I find them to be the most dedicated, the most interesting, you know, and the best fellow students that I could learn with. Now, I have, you know, remained in contact with probably, you know, 30 to 40% of my class. And while we may not see each other, you know, all the time, I still feel extremely close to them. And the journey that we went through helped us, you know, have careers that have really been profound in making a difference in the world. And I think that's what I was left with in the school, a real interest in trying to make a difference in improving healthcare for people. We have a country that I think has dichotomous healthcare. We don't, you know, it's not equal, certainly, but many of my classmates, you know, have made real efforts to make a difference in areas where underserved, their healthcare was improved. And I myself have enjoyed a career where I have been able to give back a great deal to many people. And my decision to transition I'll admit to being 66 years old, to transition to another aspect of a career really is because I feel that I have a lot of value to give to the medical system, that there are people that need my talents, and that it's an honor to practice medicine and an honor to deliver healthcare.